Is there life after this kind of service that you are delivering to the public? Kasi kung kaya ko lang na mag-isang salita nandiyan na kaagad, matagal na itong tapos itong problema ng Pilipinas. And even in the matter of, sometimes the operations or expansion of telcos are hindered by so many requirements from the barangays down, and ito namang community. Well, of course, you have every right. Every citizen has the right to air his grievance. But maniwala kayo, wala naman itong talagang let the telcos do their job, allow them to build the structures, towers, if you may, para naman ma-improve nila. It's a chicken and egg thing, which comes first. So, your cooperation or the seal of the telcos to do better. Yung iba, well, for one reason or another, hindi naman lahat. Medyo, and of course, most of the mayors are good. I am not referring to them. I'm referring sometimes to the locals, barangay, making it hard for the telcos to improve. So, saan dyan sa dalawa, ako kung sa akin lang, kung madiretso ko ito. But one thing is, in the coming days, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about this seriously, actually. This has been bugging the country for so long. It pisses me off to no end, really, to be discussing this telcos. Because ang karamihan, walang service dito, walang service doon. I said a chicken or egg thing. Whether it's because of the absence of the towers, they are not allowed to build or erected, or itong walang kapasidad itong telcos to invest more. Kung ako lang ang masunod na alam mo, Congress, I appeal again to Congress. I cannot fight corruption. I cannot find an answer for. I forgot that. It was in my. It was within a gray matter between my ears. How to move people who are almost resistant to finding fault and resisting moves of government to improve. Wala eh. Bara-bara. So Congress might want to enact a legislation. It's not. It has not been done not in the Philippines. It's only done in parliamentary countries, where the Prime Minister is grilled during the question hour. But I want to Congress to know that I'm ready to appear there in Congress and discuss with them. But they should allow me to talk first, then discuss how we can cut corruption, simplify the ease of doing business, has some recommendations, almost radical. But I will try to begin tomorrow shaking the tree sa PhilHealth. Uh, Bala ko mag-reorganize and impose upon them a single line of authority. No more so many, wala namang iba dyan. There are so many tables there in an office, hindi lang PhilHealth, na who can do the work, who can process the papers, without really having a discretion whether or not he should be hanging on it, sitting on it. Wala eh, basta kanila, magdaan sa kanila na hindi naman kailangan. Kung dadaan man, if at all, that the papers will pass their desk, that they have no discretions at all. So, ang sabi ko sa Congress, limitahan natin. 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. That's enough. I'm sure. Otherwise, you guys are not doing your work. I mean, 3 days, if you really put your heart into it and work hard, you can finish the job, or let us say, even 1 week. But yung months and years, I will name the office probably towards the end of the year. Yung na may application na umabot ng 2 taon, putang ina ninyo magbantay ko, mumurahin ko talaga kayo. I will name you in public and put you to shame that I am suspecting that you are waiting for some remuneration that is not due you. And you are not doing anything. Naghihintay ka lang ng pera. Basta kung may magreklamo, I encourage the citizens to, dito gusto ninyo, I don't know how long this program would last, but if you really want to have your complaints, you write me a letter and I will read it here kung sino yung nakahawak ng papel ng matagal. And maybe if it is inordinately delayed, I will ask the idiot to sit there, to sit here in this table. Tapos buhos ko tong tubig sa mukha niya. You better come up with an explanation that is really good to hear. Because bang wala na ako ng pasensya na bastusin talaga kita. Or Congress can call me and we will discuss. I do not have any qualms about you setting up oversight committees. That is good. More people watching the people's money, the better. Wala akong ano dyan sa sabihin ninyo intrusion into the domain of the separation of power, because it's legit. You can do it and you can make it stricter and more hard for people to. Wala eh. Sabi ko nga sa ayaw ko kung sabihin ko ito sa inyo. I offered to resign as president. Pinatawag ko yung lahat ng sabi ko na kasi nagsasawa na ako. In my years of government, wala nang katapusan itong sa mayor. But mayor, being mayor is just a small organization. Talagang wala nang katapusan itong corruption. Mahirap talaga pigilin. Kasi mga pastillas hanggang ngayon, even with the investigation or the clamor for government to be, to shake the tree, wala. Sige, hanggang ngayon, it's being committed every day. No, can you stop it? You cannot. There is no way, I'm telling you, with my experience as a prosecutor for the Tanod Bayan noon, I was a special prosecutor for the Tanod Bayan, ang predecessor ng ombudsman. But at the same time, I was a city prosecutor for Davao City. I was having a dual role there. I was sent out of Davao City to prosecute cases outside of my jurisdiction in other cities. I toured Mindanao several times just prosecuting cases. Wala hanggang ngayon, wala akong nandyan pa rin. And it starts, even dyan sa yung land registration. You are really notoriously, even in the provinces, of sometimes the employees run to the mill of the grid of bureaucracy, mag-imbento ng mga peke na dokumento. Marami dyan. I prosecuted about 7 itong putang inang land registration. In fairness to Secretary Guevara, he was not yet around at that time. Bago lang yan siya ngayon. But sa Muntinlupa, ganon rin. Alam mo, panoorin nyo yung sine. Netflix. If you do not have it, find your neighbor that has one connection with the internet. What is really appalling, I cannot seem to fathom, hindi ko maabot ang rason, why the drug syndicates of almost all over the world is run by people who are in prison, kagaya ng Amerika, gano'n, di mafia. Itong dito sa Pilipinas, yun, galing dito. They do not really bother about, because in the end, they can buy their freedom and go out. Hindi sila na not so concerned of how many tonelada ang... Kasi kung ako lang, kung mahuli kita, dali na kita doon sa Bonifacio o sa madilim na lugar niyan, I will hang you. I will not waste the bullet. Mahal ang bala ng M16 ngayon. Kailangan ko pa ng gira and fighting this komunista, isa pa rin. While we are suffering, busy tending to the sick Filipinos, wala namang ginawa itong mga buang na to kung hindi mag, tell me, since the time season first talk sa Intramuros, nakinig kami, tell me, was there a time that you guys were able to hold a barangay dito? Influence, yes. Because tinatakot ninyo pagkagabi na. Pero magsabi, physically occupy a town, even a barangay, the smallest, and proclaim independence or belligerency. Tell me, kayong mga Pilipino, kayong pumapasok pa, putang ina ninyo, mamamatay na lang kayo, iniiwan ninyo pamilya ninyo. Kaya ako nagalit nung sabi ko nga itong mga babae na ito, that led to that cry for women's Bisaya yan. It's an idiom sa Bisaya yung mga ganon, yung wala talaga. Puro patay, hindi na nakikita ng nanay pati tatay. Ang doors itong mag-asawa, Sus Maria Josep. Hindi ka naman kailangan ng pagkaganon, alisin ko na lang yung mga national high school dyan sa malalayong lugar. Kung hindi pa naman pasokan ng rason yung utak ninyo. You have not scored a victory. Itong PhilHealth, I'm going to propose to Congress to abolish kung i-privatize mo naman, Sus Maria Josep, walang pera, sino insurance mo? Kung sabihin ng mga kapitalista sa insurance, kami ang magbayad, pero wala kayong pundo. That is why we are selling properties. That's the reason why we are selling properties, real estate properties in Japan. Because we have to raise money. Wala nang pambayad niyang sa PhilHealth na yan kaya walang ibang remedy dyan. It must be a surgical move. Talagang kung hindi, paalisin ko, sans itong mga civil service. Create a new agency out of the ruins of that old one. Hindi na pwede, Secretary Doge. Hindi na pwede na itong mga tao na ito, they're already entrenched na. Walang mayari. Talagang either I'm going to revamp, consider everybody resign there. And if there is a structure, we can slowly yung disband yung ibang just a simple, as simple as it could ever be. That's what I mean. So yun those are my thoughts, mga kababayan. If I offended you with bad words, sabi ng pare, bad words. Kasi kami noon, ewan ko, marami nang namatay sa classmate ko. Kaya pa siya, si Dominguez. So, kababata ko yan. Noon mo, sa eskwela, sa Ateneo, during our time, if you are heard or caught speaking in the vernacular, jogging ka tawag. Jogging is 1,000 words after school. You are detained there. I will not talk, and I will always talk in English. Maski na pabaluktot ka pa English ka dyan, kailangan English ka. I don't know if it has improved my character or not. Lahat kami noon, makapagsalita ng ngayon yan, gawin mo sa akin, deport kita. Why should I not talk in the vernacular? This is my country. You have to teach me another way of doing it. but not as a sort of a punishment just because I'm talking in Visayan. Uh, Yun lang po. Telco, it's school time. About a good percentage of our studentry are really dependent already on itong mga Facebook, and whatever learning that they could get from there. Pero dyan din ang, democracy comes with a price. Kita yung sinabi mo niya kanina, may nagbabastos. It originated from a parang parochial private mga madre. So, I'm not, hindi ko naman sinasabi madre. Gagaling lang doon. I was being asked kanina by kami nag-uusap kung what sort of punishment. So, if minor, we'll have to deal with a minor. Minor is a minor. Pero kung matanda na yan, padala mo sa Manila, sampalin ko lang. Yes, Secretary Anyo. Ikaw ang magsampal?
Nag-usap-usap na po kami nila. Senator Bongo po, nag-iimbestiga na po ang DepEd at saka ang Philippine National Police. At magbibigay po kami ng aming rekomendasyon. Maganda po talaga na tuluyan ang kaso ito para wag pong pamarisan.
You know why? It is, the Facebook is as wide as the universe. Ang use yan, it can create, lahat bastos, create trouble, or wala nang magawa. It has opened a Pandora's box. Lumalabas na lahat ng lahat ng kaputahan na maisip ng tao, may ilagay niyan. It has opened a Pandora's box, and I think that we should be stricter, more open. At itong Facebook naman, I just, from what I have learned in the past days, na pati yung advocacy ng gobyerno, tinatanggal. So what's the purpose of you being here? If government itself, Facebook, listen to me. We allow you to operate here, hoping that you could help us also. Now, if government cannot espouse or advocate something which is good for the good of the people, then what is your purpose here in my country? Tapos yung left, ini-encourage kayo, then you believe in the left, and to the point of almost make a sweeping move to yung sa health, website ng health, military, we're fighting a war. Facebook, insurgency is about overturning government. What would be the point? I said before, in my eyes, what would be the point of allowing you to continue if you cannot help us? We are not advocating mass destruction. We are not advocating mass massacre. It's a fight of ideas. And apparently, from the drift of your statement or your position is that it cannot be used as a platform for anything. It's so convoluted, I cannot understand it. But ito na lang, tell me kung bakit hindi ko magamit para sa kapakanan ng taong bayan. If government cannot use it for the good of the people, then we have to talk. We have to talk sense. If we are promoting the cause of the rebellion, which is already, which was already here before you came, and so many thousands of my soldiers and civilians dying, then if you cannot reconcile the idea of what your purpose is or was, then we have to talk. I don't know what I will do, but we have to talk. Hindi pwede na, you cannot lay down a policy for my government. I allow you to operate here. You cannot bar or prevent me from espousing the objectives of government. No government in this wide world espouses killing or execution or whatnot. But you know that there is a left, that the left is the National Democratic Front. And that's then you have the New People's Army as an organ of that. So, kung hindi tayo magkaintindihan dyan, mag-usap tayo uli. Is there life after Facebook? I don't know. Pero, mag-usap tayo. Mga kababayan ko, pardon my long speech. Sometimes I have to bubuhos ko kasi para maintindihan ninyo. Kasi kung hindi tayo mag-intindihan itong Facebook na to, I really do not know. But my job is to protect government interest. It's not even anybody's job. Akin yan. To protect government interest always. If you cannot help me protect government interest, then let us talk. We may or we may not find the solution. If we cannot, then I'm sorry. Mga kababayan ko, maraming salamat sa pagtangkilig ba yan? Tama? Pagtangkilig. Bisaya ang kilid is side by side. Pagtangkilig sa amin dito. At maraming salamat po. Magandang gabi.
Mr. President, we are recommending the community quarantine classification of certain LGUs. Ito po ay patungkol sa kanilang bagong community quarantine classification ng mga probinsya, highly urbanized cities at independent component cities para po sa darating na buwan ng Oktubre. Ang pinakamataas na community quarantine classification ay MECQ. At para sa isang lalawigan, ito po ang Lanao del Sur, including Marawi City. At anim naman po ang isa sa ilalim sa GCQ. Ito po ang NCR, Batangas, Tacloban City, Bacolod City, Iligan City, at Iloilo City. Habang ang natitirang 78 na probinsya at mga highly urbanized cities and independent component cities ay nasa ilalim ng MGCQ. This is actually the lowest community quarantine status, Mr. President, just before it progresses into the new normal, so to speak. Para po sa Iloilo City, ang previous classification nila na MECQ ay ipapatupad na lamang hanggang sa katupasan ng September. Ang kanilang bagong classification na GCQ ay papatupad mula sa October 1 at batay na rin sa updated data at rekomendasyon ng kanilang pamunuang lungsod.
Susunod na programa ay rated PG. Ito ay nangangailangan ng patnubay at gabay ng magulang para sa mga batang manonood.
Magandang umaga, Sec Martin. After a week-long trip in Western Visayas covering 5 provinces, Team OPAB will focus on planning for a Central Visayas Summit to reopen the economy, restart tourism activities, push for plant in the agriculture sector, and support MSMEs. Si Sec Dino Sec Martin will gather the 4 governors and key national government agencies. He's looking at 3rd week of October to hold the Central Visayas Summit. Alam mo, Sec Martin, itong summit na ito was supposed to be held September, pero yung mga provinces kasi, lalo na Bohol, ay hindi pa handa at that time to reopen the economy. But ngayon, they are already asking DOH-7 for testing protocol to be able to restart and reopen their economy. And ito ay naging basihan ni Sec Mike Dino na ipapatuloy na yung Central Visayas Summit. Dumako naman tayo, Sec Martin, sa Eastern Visayas. Yung DPWH is implementing construction of quarantine facilities and road projects in Eastern Visayas. The DPWH 8 has completed 17 quarantine facilities in Eastern Visayas. These facilities have a total of 800 beds. And of the 17 completed projects, 9 are used as isolation centers and quarantine centers in various areas in Region 8. 2 of these facilities were completed in September, 10 in August, and 2 of these facilities were completed in September, 10 in August, and 5 in July. The completed COVID-19 facilities are located at Barangays Salvacion, Abukay, and Cabalawan in Tacloban City, Sacred Heart Seminary in Barangay Salvacion, Palo, Leyte, Barangay Trindad, Calbayog City, Samar Provincial Hospital, at Barangay Gindapunan in Catbalogan City, Barangay Songko in Borongan City, Eastern Samar, and Northern Samar Provincial Hospital, Katarman, Northern Samar, Barangays Macabug and Dolores in Ormoc City, and Barangay Agpangi and Larzabal in Naval, Biliran. One more facility located in Dagami Town is ongoing and is started to be finished within September. And DPWH Sac Martin will be constructing more facilities to accommodate the increasing number of COVID cases in the region. Alam mo, Sac Martin, yung Region 8 ay minomonitor namin ngayon sa OPAB kasi we are trying to make sure that if in case tataas yung mga cases nila, ay magkaroon ng good COVID response sa lugar na yon. And if that happens, Sec Martin, nag-usap na rin si Sec Mike Dino at si General Mel Feliciano, ang IATF Visayas Implementer, na tulungan ang Region 8. At sa DPWH 8 naman, Sec Martin is also implementing road projects in the region. In Biliran, for instance, the agency is undertaking the rehabilitation of a damaged road slope protection in Inasuyan Village in Kawayan Town. This road project, Sec Martin, which is a portion of the Biliran Circumferential Road, is now 86.71 complete. The completion of the project is scheduled on November 2020. Itong project na ito, Sec Martin, ay nagkahalagang 24.6 million pesos and entails the construction of 77.0 linear meter slope protection with concrete facing and concrete pavement. Itong portion ng road na ito sa section along Inasuyan Village in Kawayan Town was damaged due to continuous heavy rains brought about by Typhoon Usman in 2018. At sabi ng DPWH Sec Martin, if left unattended, ito ay magkakaroon ng continuous landslide, and the project completion will safeguard the existing concrete roads subjected to wear and tear of heavy equipment and vehicles. This will earn the government saving in rehabilitating damaged pavement in the future caused by slip and soil collapse. In Southern Leyte naman, Sec Martin, DPWH has completed the construction of the 17 million road leading to trade and industry centers in the province. The 1.2 kilometer access road will provide better link for Patong, Ilaya, Nava, and San Juan villages in Hinunangan Town. Specifically, the road aims to link the communities to raw materials consolidators of coconut oil producer SC Global and agribusiness firm Kennemer Foods International in Sogod Town. Since the project started last February, the DPWH has been regularly monitoring civil works to ensure completion of the road networks on time. Through the convergence with the Department of Trade and Industry, DTI, DPWH 8 identified sites that have the need for access roads. These road projects aims to spur development for the communities near these sites and help improve the province's economy. Alam mo, Sec Martin, Hinunangan Town is a second-class town with residents primarily dependent on agriculture, fisheries, coconut industry, rice industry, livestock, and poultry production. Itong project na ito, Sec Martin, is funded through the approved finance road projects leading to various industries and economic zones dubbed as Road Leverage Linkages for Industry and Trade, ROLLIT program, a convergence between the DTI and DPWH. The initiative is patterned after the Department of Tourism DPWH Convergence Road or the Tourism Road Infrastructure Program that resulted in the upgrading of roads leading to tourist destinations. Priority industries and activities are those with high potential to be globally competitive, innovative, and resilient, and those that can generate jobs and create spillover effects to other industries and economy. Still on Eastern Visayas, Sec Martin, TESDA and the Task Force ELCA conduct skills training for former rebels and families of the Inupakan purging victims. Itong Task Force ELCA and the Technical Education Skills Development Authority or TESDA in Region 8 is providing skills training for former rebels and the families of Inupakan purging victims. 10 former rebels in Basay, Samar started training on welding and electrical installation. According to the 63rd Infantry Battalion of the 8th Infantry Division of the Philippine Army, the 10 rebel returnees were among the 30 locals who participated in the training. This is facilitated by the Basay Municipal Task Force ELCAC and the Task Force ELCAC Poverty Reduction and Livelihood Cluster led by TESDA 8 in coordination with the 63rd IB of the Philippine Army. The 45-day training aims to capacitate the former rebels to become productive members of the community as they go about their reintegration in the mainstream society. The skills they will acquire will enable them to have a stable source of livelihood. The families of the Inupacan massacre in Barangay San Juan and Malinaw, Mahaplag, Leyte are also undergoing the training on shielded metal arc welding. The 14th Infantry Battalion, 802nd Infantry Brigade of the 8th Infantry Division said this is a complementary training to the agriculture-related training center started for the families for the Inupacan purging victims. At ito lang po, Sec Martin, ang report ko on what's happening in Visayas. Will provide you with new updates again sa Wednesday. Daghan salamat, ug maayong buntag, Sec Martin.
Ang nakaraan sa aming laging handa docu.
Okay, so papasok tayo ngayon dito sa red zone.
Masaya po. Masaya na makakalabas na kasi mga kasama ko yung ano po.
Mag-wear dapat nito. Itong mask, saka ng face shield. Para sa kanila.
Malaya si mama.
Hindi mo makasama yung anak mo, yung nanay mo.
Oo.
So, hindi ko kaya.
Ngayon, sa pagpapatuloy ng aming docu-serye ng mga kwento sa likod ng mga tugon ng gobyerno sa pandemya at kwento ng mga frontliners, ating suriin ang buhay sa loob ng mega swabbing facility. Bahagi ng National Action Plan o NAP ang detect strategy na kinabibilangan ng pagsusuri sa mga taong posibleng positibo sa COVID-19. Agresibo ang gobyerno sa kampanya na maisailalim sa testing ang marami nating kababayan. Katunayan, mahigit 3.2 milyon na po nating kababayan o katumbas ng 3% ng populasyon ang na-test at inaasang tataas pa ito habang nadadagdagan naman ang ating testing laboratory sa buong bansa. Ngunit lahat ng yan ay hindi may tataguyod kung wala ang mga taong nasa likod nito. Handog ng Presidential Communications Operations Office at Office of the Global Media and Public Affairs ang short docu tungkol sa sitwasyon sa loob ng pinakamalaking swabbing facility. Samahan nyo kaming alamin ang sitwasyon sa loob ng mga mega swabbing center. Ito po ang totoong kwento.
Wala po kayong retrieval code. Ibig sabihin po, hindi po kayo ma-accommodate for swabbing. Kailangan po natin mag-find code. Muli pong pinapaalala na bawal po ang uminom, bawal po ang kumain, bawal din po magtanggal ng face mask.
Diretso kayo sa nasa Deacon Chamber. Go, 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 go!
Sa panahon ng pandemya, pangamba ng marami ang pang-araw-araw na buhay at kaligtasan.
Masasabi ko sir, mas gugustuhin ko pang sa giyera na lang ako ma-deploy sir, kaysa dito. Kasi hindi ko po makita yung kalaban.
Kaya mahalaga para sa ating mga kababayan ang matest kung kinakailangan. Marami ang gustong magpasuri, pero hindi sapat ang impormasyon.
The only time po na pwede tayong magtanggal ng face mask ay kung isasab na po tayo.
Sige ma'am, sa ilong po muna tayo magsasolve ma'am. Okay lang po kayo ma'am? Okay po, sa kabilang butas lang ma'am. Sa buwangan naman po tayo magsasolve.
Ako po si JV Arsena. Samahan niyo akong alamin ang sitwasyon sa loob ng Mega Swabbing Center.
Nandito tayo ngayon sa MOA Arena. Isa ito sa mga mega swabbing centers ng gobyerno in partnership with the private sector. Meron po itong 72 testing booth, meron pong 140 personnel na nagmaman sa buong swabbing center. Isa lamang ito sa mga response or efforts ng gobyerno laban sa COVID-19 sa ating tinatawag na expanded targeted testing. Ito po ay nakasaad din sa National Action Plan ng gobyerno laban sa COVID-19.
This facility is being run and maintained by the PNP Medical Reserve Force, augmented by the Department of Health.
Ma'am, good afternoon ma'am. First time niyo po ba ma'am? Sige ma'am, bali, ganun po ma'am, magsasolve tayo sa dalawang butas ng ilong ma'am. Medyo nakaluwa siya ma'am pero mabilis naman po. Tapos yung isang ma'am sa buwangan na po. Para sigurado sa panahon ngayon kasi araw-araw kasi kami nagagala-gala, parang panigurado.
Ito ang pinakamalaking swabbing center sa bansa. Tinatayang nasa 1,000 hanggang 1,500 katao ang na-accommodate dito araw-araw.
Kung isasab na po tayo, siguraduhin na natatakpan ang ilong, ang bibig, at hindi po ang baba. After your swabbing, you will be provided with individual barcodes. Sticker po yan. Itago po natin for future reference.
Sir, doon sa ID niyo may nakabigit na barcode. Ito po yung reference code na maano niyo po para ma-verify niyo through online yung resulta ng swab test niyo.
Kung kayo ay may nararamdamang sintomas, huwag mag-atubili na magpa-test dito sa Mega Swabbing Center. Ang ginang na ito, sa swabbing center sumailalim ng confirmatory test matapos ang 2 linggong quarantine.
Ang una, kumati yung lalamunan ko, tapos nagkasipon ako, tapos yung madalas ako mag-CR, tapos nawalan ako ng panlasa tsaka pang-amoy. Hindi ko rin kasi masabi pero hindi ko talaga masabi kung saan Pwedeng sa office or pwedeng sa labas, sa palengke. Hindi ko rin kasi alam, hindi ko rin masabi. Ay, sa bahay lang. Kasi hindi naman ako nilagnat. Wala akong ibang Yung sipon lang talaga yung nagkameron ako. 14 days. 14 days.
Pang 15 days.
Ngayon. 3 to 5 days yung result. I-text na lang daw po.
Walang bayad ang swab testing dito. Para makapag-book ng appointment, kinakailangan muna makipag-coordinate sa inyong barangay para makapagpadala ng sulat sa opisina ng Mega Swabbing Center.
Ang schedule ng ating swabbing ay uumpisa ng alas 9 ng umaga at nagtatapos po ng alas 5 ng hapon. From Monday to Friday po tayo nag-ooperate.
Pinipilahan ang Mega